Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be looking at BLOX and a few hypotheticals here with ChatGPT. But as always, I like to start off with showing you what my current position is. As of this recording, BLOX is a bit down. We are after a market close, and this is what it's looking like at the moment. So I am using $1,000 worth free of margin from Robinhood, which I am a gold subscriber. We can see what my total return is right here. I'm down about $18.34, but today I actually gained $53.84 back. So we're climbing that position slowly. We can see that this particular ETF has recovered quite well. We were back on October 20th, around $25.93. We can see that we dipped pretty low at $23.50, and we have recovered nicely ever since. We can see on the year-to-date performance that we are up 33.16%. We can see some of that pullback, obviously because of the uncertainty in the markets. Overall, my price is still good on this. I'm averaging $26.20, own almost 15 shares at this point, so it's looking nice. And as far as maintenance required and margin, we can see that I actually have to hold a value of $279.40. Of course, we're nowhere near that, so we don't have to be worried about a margin call. We can see the number of holdings, 92, when the inception date was, and of course the dividends that I'm getting paid. You can see that it's been pretty much the same, around $7, plus, we have that change, exactly interesting to see that on the 14th to the 20th, that percentage changed only by a few cents, but it is still a solid ETF that I would be investing in weekly. And of course, I'm just buying more shares, and that is what I like about this specific ETF because it's a crypto income ETF. Let's go into ChatGPT, and I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what this breakdown is going to look like over many years of this compounding. Let's do that right now. So you can see the question that I posed to ChatGPT, and this is what it came up with. And I want to go ahead and talk to you all about this because I think it's important as a Robinhood Gold subscriber to utilize the spare cash that we are given, that $1,000 free of margin at no interest. So let's go ahead and break this down. We can see the question that I asked, right? What would this look like in compounding over a certain amount of time? We can see we're doing over a 15-year period, and let's go through this quickly, all right? So here's just a short-term summary of basically what I'm asking. You can go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and read that at a more detailed view, but I'm gonna keep going down because this is really where it gets interesting. So if we look at a year-by-year projections, right, at the drip weekly compounding, right, conservative rate at a 5-year percent rate, which is very conservative. I don't see that in crypto. The underlying holdings in this ETF, we're growing at a modest 5%. I think honestly, we're going to be more in the aggressive phase at 20%. So I think it's realistic to see around $5,000 free, basically worth of that compounding in 5 years. We can see it continues to go up from there. At 10 years, we're nearing 13,000. And by 15 years, we are at 30,000, nearing 31,000. So it really depends on the performance of the underlying companies. But my point in this is that it can continue to expand. So we can see the year-by-year projections. Now, as we continue to go down here, we can see exactly what this is going to look like, right? And I'm going to let you go ahead and pause the video to read this more. Now, the thing that I want to actually look at is let's go ahead and look at a 20 to 30 year time frame. I'm going to type that in right now, and let's see exactly what ChatGPT will show us. Now that we look at this updated chart, we can see exactly what this is going to be like. So again, we have no way of knowing exactly the total percentage, right? 5%, 10%, or even aggressive at 20%. But we can notice after 30 years, look at that dramatic difference from a 10% return to a 20% return. And of course, is that sustainable? We don't know. This is just all hypothetical. We're nearing 500,000 versus the 10% return, only about 35,000. It's nice to see those numbers in comparison. Now, remember, Ethereum is supposedly going to be hitting high amounts in the sense of 60,000 plus, but again, who knows, right? So we would get that upside from there because it holds Ethereum and it holds Bitcoin. Now let's actually go look at the actual assets itself on Robinhood, and that's where we're going to wrap up the video. Now that we are back onto Robinhood, we can see my current holdings. I don't hold too much Ethereum on the platform. I like to self-custody it, but here is what I am actually running on right now. I don't hold that much, around $60 worth, but we can see the performance of Ethereum has been quite staggering over the past 5 years. It's nice to see that, and of course, we'll see how high this can go. But remember, as Ethereum goes, BLX will climb as well. Let's jump onto Bitcoin right now. Again, here is Bitcoin. I don't hold too much of it. Like to keep just a little bit so I can have it on my tabs there. But we can see in the past 5 years exactly what it has been like. Quite staggering to see that. But the point is that as we continue to go up with Bitcoin and Ethereum, BLOX will continue to ride covered calls and cash secured puts on it. So I think it's a good investment long term. Please let me know if you have any more questions or want to discuss a specific stock or ETF down in the comments below. As always, thanks for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.